What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your average programmer here, back again with another video. Today we are going to be creating a number guessing game in C#. Now let me show you what this program does. So I'm gonna run the console, and this is a pretty cool starter application for beginners. So it asks us to guess a random number between 1 and 10. So we're gonna hit 6. Oops, try again. That didn't work. That did not work. So after 3 times, we don't get to guess again. So you only get 3 chances to guess correctly. But if you do guess it correctly, I'm gonna see if I can get it here. Hopefully, oh, there we go, 3. It says you guessed correctly, as you can see right here. So there we go. I'm gonna be showing you how to build this app. Also, I'm gonna be showing you how to generate a random number with a random class in C#. So without further ado, let's go ahead and create a new project. Let's get this thing started. New project. Console app, of course. We're gonna name it Num Guesser. Go ahead and create that. And this is going to be done using a while loop, just so you know. You can do this with any loop you want, but in this video we are going to be doing it with a while loop. And I'd suggest that you guys, in order to challenge yourselves, I'd suggest you try and do it with other loops as well. So I'm going to be doing it in a while loop, and as a challenge for you, I'd say you try it with a for loop or do while loop. So that's just a little practice challenge for you all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and declare 2 variables. First one is going to be an integer of random num, and we're gonna set this to 2 for now. Later on in the video, we're gonna make this dynamic and have it generate random numbers, but for now we're gonna set it to 2. The next number is going to be guesses left, which obviously counts the number of guesses you have left. We're going to set that to 3 because you only get 3 guesses. Now here's where the majority of our code is going to be, within this while loop. So we want this to set the while loop to want to compare guesses left to 0. So as long as guesses left is greater than 0, we want to run whatever's in this while loop. So first things first, we're going to console.write I just got a new keyboard, I'm getting used to it. Console.write guess a random number between 1 and 10. So that's just going to write out guess a random number between 1 and 10, nothing else. So now we are going to set whatever comes into here. We're going to declare an integer of our guess. I'm going to call it guess equals, and we want to read this line. So we're going to set guesses left to console.readLine. Not only do we want to do that, but we want to read the line and convert it to an integer. So around this read line, we're going to wrap this read line in, convert to int32. Convert that to int32, which just converts it into an integer. 32-bit integer. Alright, so again, we're going to read this entire line, or we're going to print out this line, and then we're going to set whatever number we put inside of here to this guess variable. So whatever string comes inside of here, we're going to convert it to an integer and set it to this guess variable over here. So let's go ahead and test it out first. Guess a random number between 1 and 10. I'm going to hit Control F5. Guess a random number between 1 and 10. 3. It's just going to keep asking you as long as guesses left is greater than 0. But we haven't modified guesses left, so that's why it keeps printing out without stopping. So now, here's where it gets I don't want to say complicated, but you have to pay attention a bit more on these parts. So we're going to set an if statement. If our guess is equal to, if the number we put in here as guess is equal to the random number that is generated by C#, but for now it's just 2. If it's equal to random num, we want to console.writeLine you are correct. So, spelled right wrong. Shouldn't do that. It's going to console.writeLine you are correct. So again, if you get the guess right, you are correct. It's going to print out you are correct. And then we want to break out of the loop. So it's just going to break out of the loop. Else, so if it's not correct, we want to take the guesses left variable. We want to take this variable and subtract 1 from it each time. So guesses left minus minus. So again, let me explain this to you. We're going to print out a number, or we're going to ask the user to guess a number between 1 and 10. We're going to take that string variable, because console.write converts anything you type in into a string. We're going to take that string variable, convert it to an integer, and then assign that integer to guess. And if that guess variable is equal to random number, the random number that we have here, again, it's just 2 for now, we want to console.write you are correct, and then break out of the loop. So we're done. You got it right. You win whatever prize. In this case, you don't win a prize, but you get the idea. Else, we want to guesses left minus minus. And then we also want to console.writeLine. Whoops, sorry, wrong thing. So again, if you're not correct, if this isn't true, then we go to else. If you don't get it right, we go to else, and it takes 1 off of guesses left. So now guesses left equals 2. And we're going to put an if statement in here as well. If guesses left is equal to 0, so basically you're out of tries, we want to console.writeLine, and we're going to use some string interpolation here. So we're going to put a number sign, and then we are going to put our quotes. So that's string interpolation. Here you can pretty much dynamically put variables into the string. So we're going to put sorry, and then we're going to put random number. The random number at that time was the correct number. Don't forget your semicolon. So it's going to console.write sorry, the random number that was generated at the time was the correct number. Okay. So now this is the basic gist of the program. We're going to go ahead and run this. Control F5. Guess a random number between 1 and 10. Remember, our random number for now is 2, but we're going to put anything besides 2. We're going to put 4, 6, so you have one more try, 7, and there you go. It says sorry, 2. Remember, we dynamically put this in right here. Dynamically put it in with string interpolation. It says 2 was the correct number. Now let's go ahead and get this right. So we're gonna exit out of the console and restart the console again. Control F5. All right, we are going to hit 2. You are correct, and it breaks out of the loop. And that's it. All right, so now let's go ahead and generate that random number. So, since random number is not a static class, we are going to have to instantiate it. So var random class equals new random. So that just brings up the random class here. It instantiates a new random class. Now we're going to set this random class, or we're going to take this random class dot next. We're going to use the static dot next variable. Sorry, not static, but we're going to take the dot next method. Now we're going to put 0 to 10. And I know I said numbers between 1 and 10. The reason I put 0 is because the first number is not included, but the second number is. So this is going to generate a number 1 more than the number you put in up to this number. So if you wanted a random number between 50 and 100, you would put 49 to 100. 49, 9 included, so we go to 50 to 100. All right, so let's go back 0 to 10. Now, here's where things get a little crazy. For now, we're going to comment out our code because I want to show you guys a little something before I proceed. I'm going to comment out our code, and we're just going to console.write line our random number, just so I can show you. Random num. So control F5 to bring up the console. See, the random number here is 9 this time. 9. So we're going to close out of this console. We're going to do it again. Now this time it's 5. See how it's constantly generating a random number? Now we have to try and guess it. Before we had a static random number. We had a set random number, which was 2. But now the random class generates a random number each time we bring up the console. So now you've got to actually get it right. This time it's 3. So let's go ahead and uncomment out our code. Now let's see if I can get this right. Oh, sorry, print out random number. I forgot to delete this part. Can't cheat, guys. No cheating. No cheating allowed. All right. So now we're going to try and get this right. Guess a random number between 1 and 10. I'm going to guess 4, 6. Oh, 7 was the correct number. Perfect. I got it right. 7 was the correct number. Now I'm going to try and get this wrong this time. Or try and get it right, but if I get it wrong, good. 7, 7, 7. See, sorry. 6. Remember, we use string interpolation to dynamically put in the random number. 6 was the correct number, not 7 or any other number I put. So that is the number guessing game. I know it's a super simple application, but it's one that can really help you hone in on your skills, especially as a beginner. So I'd suggest you go through this video. Again, like I told you in the beginning, you can go ahead and try to do this with a for loop. Try to challenge yourself a little bit. Do this with a for loop or do while loop, and see what you could come up with. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to like the video and stay tuned for more great content. Thank you.